Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I am just filled with faith and peace and love and joy to share, to offer. So sincerely, to all of you who have already stopped in, my deep and sincere appreciation. This adventure we're sharing, this life we're living, man, things are not always as they seem. That's what I've come to humble myself to realize for myself. And I want to share some ideas today. And actually, I'm kind of intentionally today going with the flow. And I've already dropped the link for those who may wish to join and pinned it to the top of the chat. So for those who are willing and present, feel free to join. In a great mood today, I really am. And for those who do join, please share the like, share a little love, because love, man, love and life, there's no separation. Although it is easy to feel separated from love in this life, I've spent a lot of time in my past that way, floating along through life without really knowing, without really having a clear meaning or purpose for my life. I'd lost passion. And without passion in your life, you feel dead. You feel dead inside. And I remember what it's like to live as a walking dead. It wasn't fun. So brothers and sisters, today on this fantastic Friday, I'd like to share some of those welcoming weekend energies and remind anyone who tunes in, let's live with passion. And every day becomes a fantastic adventure. And with the lesson, what I've learned, without passion, purpose, and meaning, life is a missed opportunity. I mean, it truly is a gift, the expression of life, who you are, so unique in your own ways. A passion for growth, a passion for life, that's what sets us free. And that's what allows the adventures to really emerge. I'm having an adventure in my life these days. What does it mean to have an adventure? It means you've got a little uncertainty. You don't really know what's coming your way. You may have an idea. You may have some ability to predict based on familiarity with the territory and the signs. I mean, that's what life is. I think it was Dwight the other day shared it as though we're going through this jungle of life as we evolve and we go through time. And we're all in this together, but what we're doing as we're going through time, growing into who we are, we're both creating the map, finding the meaning of stuff that we experience and creating the map. And then we're focused on the map as we're trying to go forward. Well, the map in our mind and all the meanings we found, that's simply from the past. It's what we remember. So we don't want to lose sight of the map, and we don't want to get too caught up in the jungle. The jungle can be kind of, well, intimidating. The jungle of the world. There's a lot of wild beasts out there. Very creative and manipulative. They camouflage themselves. The cruel ones, they camouflage themselves in with the nice ones, the kind ones. Praise God. God is so amazing. That is sincerely where my life is at. It's my praise is in the Almighty, the one true God, from which their wholeness, their perfection allows the physical forms to become. We are what the past has brought us. And Moose, this is where, see, this is where I don't even know. I'm assuming that's the real moose, but I have about as much chance of fixing this place as you do. You severely underestimate me. You have. And I suspect you underestimate yourself, your ability to do things. That's what I used to do. My parole officer says I have to do at least 1 hour of community service in a few channels. Tuning into Jack may be a punishment to some. You know, who knows, man? This life is fascinating and it is an adventure. But I truly trust and believe within myself that we are here, well, to bring the new, to transform and transmute that which was into something beautiful and pure, into a greater world. There's a greater world that's waiting to be discovered and created through you. Now, the rest of the world that you don't experience, they're going to do their own things. But wherever you go in your world, that world can improve through you, with you, and for you. Everything changes within your experience when you go within and you challenge your own mind, because the world the world wants us to conform and to fit in, to go along, to get along, right? That's what people have taught. That's how you're supposed to survive. Well, you can survive with those who don't think for themselves and who don't really have a clear purpose. You can conform and fit into those with those people, certainly. I don't encourage it though. I encourage you to become authentic about who you are. And who you are is intended to shine brightly, to think big. I heard this from somewhere else recently. The body will not go where the mind does not travel. So if you can't imagine your life differently than you live, guess what? You've created a prison for yourself. And it's not intentional. It's certainly it's our own naivete, our own foolishness, our own we're all susceptible to being gullible. Every one of us has the potential to become deceived. And I've shared my testimony often. I mean, there's a whole channel built for me. But I deceived myself with some of my oaths, some of my agreements. I bought into many of the lies of today. And hey, you know what? I'm going to point out something pretty obvious and take us somewhere else. So we know that Veterans for Peace, right? That's part of who I associate me as. Well, along my way, I discovered the Love Army. And after enlisting in the active duty United States Army as a kid, in 2018, I discovered love. And along the way, I discovered this amazing lady and group. Her name is Valerie Kaur, and I haven't spoken about her in quite a while. My earlier videos, I might have mentioned her name. But she's an inspiring woman of peace, very strong and powerful speaker. And her project is Revolutionary Love, the Revolutionary Love Project, because love in itself is kind of revolutionary, yet it's eternal. But it's gonna require with all of us something revolutionary within us to learn how to love one another greater than we have in the past. Because it's not cliche, it's true, sincerely. Love will change our world. Love will change your world. The absence of love will change your world. I've experienced both. It's part of our lives, our emotional and intellectual and spiritual development. Love and abundance and prosperity and pain and suffering and loss, those all come and go. It's all temporary. What is real, though? What is real today, I believe, and I know in my heart, what is real today is our opportunity to live freely, to live authentically. To be authentic means to be honest. And one who is honest, well, the best way I've found to be honest is through humility. Tied to honesty comes kindness and patience. It's all the good things that love really is. That is honestly how I've found myself to try and live intentionally, purposefully. Love is my passion. Love is my purpose. Love is not a thing. It's not even, I don't know, it's indescribable. Love is the purpose of life. And again, when we separate ourselves from love, well, then we start filling ourselves with fear. And if all we're doing is focusing on survival, we're going to get real angry at all the problems we find because survival means you got to be afraid. And this world we live in, that we were born into, it profits from fear. I mean, I can describe this stuff in so many ways, but an honest child could see the truth that the corruption in the government and economic systems, it's it's been perpetuating and been used as an excuse for evil. I'm talking about the structures of laws that mankind has evolved and has emerged. The selfishness, the selfishness in this world has literally driven everyone insane. I used to live with selfishness. Holy cows, man. We can overcome the selfishness, and it's very, very simple. It's simple, yet by God's design, it brings up to challenge and change from who we were. By God's design, we'll end up having to face our fears. Okay, but this is where community and relationships are so important. Through community and relationships, if we become honest with each other and we're authentic about, hey, I want to be a better person for you, those of who are around me. If we can recognize that we have that opportunity and we have that responsibility to become the best version of ourselves that we can, not necessarily just for ourselves, but for those who we care about. I mean, every one of us has people who care and want to see us succeed. And there's others who don't care and want to see us fail. But it takes a mixture of both. And here is another man I consider much like me, a bright light and a friend of the stream. Welcome, Hank. How you doing, brother?
I want to say greetings from Slavia. I did what they said in the last 5 minutes, which was put your beliefs on paper. And I believe, Pussy Paul, not your backyard. When I'm over here, the only thing you can do is face me and have a discussion with me on stage. Have a discussion with me on stage. Most of the time, you're just quiet and say nothing, or you could say stupid crap in the chat, which I don't care about, or you could turn it off. You don't have authority here. In fact, I do have some authority as Jack Talcott's moderator. So, Pussy Paul, not your backyard. You don't own Jack's show. There's barely anything you can do here except at the pleasure of Jack Talcott.
He hasn't found out. He hasn't found. Yes, he hasn't found reality yet. Welcome, Hank. And
Yes.
hello to all of Unslavia. Feel free to join the original stream and become part of something big.
Yeah. And you know what? They're not going to congratulate me for putting my beliefs on paper. They're going to be angry at me for saying something that contradicts their narrative. Because they believe they own your show, which is false because I can hold this sign up.
Isn't it fascinating? Believe they have ownership over the show, yet really do little, if anything, to help it rise or help it grow. It's fascinating how people have been interacting with me.
Yeah, it is.
But this is where, honestly, Hank, rather than let it drive me nuts, I've allowed my faith in God to grow. Because God uses people to be silly, to be absolutely foolish. I've played that role many times in my past, so I've learned how to avoid it, much of it at least. I don't know. Anyway, here, let's not even worry about them, Hank. Right?
Exactly.
The passion for life, right? Finding a passion and finding ways to enjoy being you. That's really what life, I think, is about.
Yeah.
Here, go ahead, Hank.
So yeah, I've my past my life. So I woke up at midnight, and pretty much someone snuck into my DMs, and I got laid really early in the morning before work. Then I went in for work and worked 10 hours in the clock. Like nearly half an hour was on janitorial work, but it was worth it because a lot of what I was doing is making so I didn't have to do BS tasks later. I think spent like 2 hours relabeling space age bins, those little plastic bins. That for near the end of the sort, they don't have me chasing freaking bins because we have script on them instead of actual printed stuff on them that we can read. And I find it graceful life because I'm not being bothered with stupid crap. And I feel good because I don't have to worry.
I didn't follow you completely, but you got things cleaned up and organized so you don't have to deal with the clutter later. Is that what I
Absolutely.
understood?
You deal with the clutter, don't have to deal with the panic, and it's very annoying. And I get a lot of practice typing things up, which is why I can design and print something in a couple minutes.
Beautiful. You know,
It's called a skill.
Hey, and what you're suggesting too, it reminded me of something I've learned. If we pay attention and we go through the day, we see something that could be, an obstacle or a problem later. If we just deal with it, take care of it so it's not in our way later, and then we're more efficient, we're able to focus. That's that is responsible.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got to.
People don't care about the problems. Just say they get stuck on a loop and have to solve the same thing the same way they don't like to do every day, and it's just sad.
Hey, let me pop in a couple of things here. Radio Perpetual Virgin, you're partially right, partially not, but I literally claim multiple times that there are many similarities and distinctions between my story and many biblical stories, but including that of Jesus. And the end result, without being ironic or joking around, the end result is me daily online streaming about praise of God. Let's bring peace to the world. Let's share the love of God, love one another. So I'm sorry you don't see what I'm pointing to, but I'm sure if you try to see Radio Perpetual Virgin, ask God to allow your eyes to open, your mind to expand, you can understand very easily. We've got a couple more guests in the back, which I'm going to trust they're joining with intentions to share support for the purpose of this stream, but everyone gets free will and gets to choose what they show. So welcome, Smith and Baby Jesus. Actually, you know what?
Is that old dirty bastard?
No, I think it's that clown Christos. Just with his name that he showed up with. I'll just get rid of him. He's pointless. Welcome.
No shade at him. Old dirty bastard by the name of Big Baby Jesus. There's no shade at him. I didn't know if that's what the reference we were making. I actually came up here. You know what I discovered, Jack? Is remember how I told you a couple months ago they had the Lilac Parade last year? And I used to always say from Kobe's first game until his death, 8484 days. I would word it just like that. Do you remember this? You went to the Lilac Parade last year, and I said I was at the Lilac Parade, and they said, welcome to the it's been 8484 years since the first Lilac Parade. What they meant to say is it's been 84 years. Why they worded it that way is beyond me. But I found a clip on YouTube today where it has 8 different Mandalorian cars from Back to the Future at the parade. I thought that was weird because I made a video called Coronation of 38 Special Part 3.8. And from the release of Back to the Future until that parade was 13838 days. I thought that was interesting, but maybe I just make weird connections that aren't there because I'm autistic. But if you look at the autism symbol, it's puzzle pieces because I put the pieces together. You know what I mean?
What's your point?
Well, that just seems like if you were to listen to what I said, that was my point. That was my point is what I just said.
I heard you're pointing at a lot of connections and a lot of numbers and
that was
what
just one number.
What is the relevant application to real life?
That our reality has been scripted and that don't take. Are you listening? You asked me a question. I'm going to respond.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I've heard many of your responses, and actually, I heard you going on with Paul, and I heard that answer earlier that you wanted the world to know that it's scripted. So great. Let's accept that fact. Let's accept it as
scripted like truth. Prescriptions. Who has your prescription? The great physician.
Please don't interrupt me, Smith. I was continuing on with a point. So let's consider that the world is scripted, that people understand how to influence the world and manipulate through words. And we know that there's problems. We know that evil has risen. So, Smith, why don't we do something about it instead of living in fear and anger?
No, I'm not living in fear or anger, but influence.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Because I know what I see. I've heard your hate.
Respectfully, let me answer. What do influencers do? They go viral. You get it? That's pretty sick when they go viral, yo.
Smith, you're deflecting from the from the
I
conversation
answered your
again.
question.
No.
I said influencers go viral.
Right, you're deflecting from the conversation.
How?
The topic
How
I was
so?
pointing to, the topic I was pointing to, Smith, is your hate and your fear.
I'm not afraid of anything.
You're
I fear
very
no one but
hateful.
God. I
You're
fear
very
no one but God.
well, so you say. You're very hate-filled, though.
How? Please explain.
I heard you going on and on about Timmy and your opinions of all sorts of things, and then you keep finding all these things that, Smith, you're literally driving yourself insane.
Am I, or am I correlating
Yes.
things that other people don't see?
No, Smith, don't make that excuse. You are literally driving yourself insane.
Well, I think
Your
to have a
behavior-
respectful back and forth, you would let me talk, Jack, but you always backstage me. Like I
You
said, I'm going to
don't
buy a
allow-
computer, and you're going to
Hello.
get bodied, Jack. You'll
Smith,
get bodied with your
Smith,
narrative of
Smith,
your fake Bible bullshit.
Take a breath. Take a breath. All right. We can have conversations when you chill out and you stop ranting like a lunatic.
So what's a lunatic saying, that just to choose love? Because men need to choose truth and they need to stand for what's right. I'm sorry, I can't love lies. I don't love lies.
Yeah,
sorry.
no one's telling you to do that. Stop deflecting. Hey, let's pause for a moment and we can continue conversations.
So
Welcome,
let's do this
Tarek.
respectfully.
Welcome,
But I get a
Lou.
little fired up when you censor me all
Welcome,
the time.
Jack.
It's not all about you, Smith. I was welcoming the other people to the panel.
So you asked me something and then welcome somebody up in the middle of my answer.
No,
Yeah, that was
Smith.
kind of rude.
No, I didn't ask you something, Smith. Okay, I said let's pause for a moment and we will invite and welcome the other people to the panel. So, Moose, are you so
Praise
sure
God.
I was wrong?
Okay,
Moose,
to be clear here, and I'm going to mute
hold
for a
on,
second.
hold on. I want to talk to Moose. Moose, you were so quick to agree that I was wrong. Hello. Are you present? What are you doing? All right. Moose is uncooperative. Welcome back, Smith.
Hey, thanks for having me back. But just to go at what you just said, that's not what you said. That's not what you said. You didn't say, let's welcome other people on. You asked me a question, and then you welcomed other people on.
What was the question I failed to let you answer,
You tell
Smith?
me, because you asked it, Jack. You spin a narrative here. Let's have an adult conversation. You want to go for lunch? Fuck
Smith,
no. You can't even talk
Can
for
you
5
let
seconds.
it, dude?
Smith,
Can you
calm
let
the
it go?
down, dude.
Holy
Eric, go
shit.
find your torso, bro.
Thank you.
You
Smith,
Hey, go fuck yourself.
share a torso.
Go
Smith.
fucking calm the fuck down, dude. You have issues. Calm down.
yeah.
You and Tarek can share the Mohammed torso.
There we go with the guy that's fucking hating.
Tarek, thank you. Thank you. But let's not drop to his level. I appreciate what you're doing.
I'm sorry.
No, Tarek,
I'm
you're
sorry,
good.
Jack, but he's
You're
way out of
good.
control. I apologize.
Respectfully,
he is.
Jack, I apologize. I don't like to be censored. I'm not a hateful person.
I
You don't
know,
let me say it.
but you don't censor yourself, Smith. Censor yourself. Do what you claim to want, an ability to have a conversation. A conversation is available here. Chill out. Tarek, welcome. You do have a lot of noise in the background, though, brother. So may I ask when you're not talking if you try to mute?
Is that better, Jack, or no?
It sounds like you're in nature. The birds are singing.
Yeah, I am in nature, Jack. I'm always in nature. I live around nature. Yeah. So I don't know. I can't get out of nature, but
Amen.
Smith, all I'm saying to you is, I don't agree with Jack, but I don't act like on some things. I don't act like you do and go crazy like this. Just calm down so we can have the conversation.
I agree with that.
Please.
And like I said, I have an original message like I sold it a year ago.
Can
and I
you
just
say
said,
it?
why talk over me?
Because you're deflecting the conversation to go on your victim rant again.
It's not a victim rant. I'm not saying that the
Smith.
fucking government owes me shit. I work
Smith.
for shit. Talk over
Hello.
me.
Yeah, Smith, actually, you know what? You've already
You know what?
admitted.
You're sharing too much.
You've already
Wow.
admitted your intoxication. The demons are controlling you, Smith. You're out of your mind, brother.
I've been up for 18 hours straight,
And
and
Jack,
I'm still cognizant. It's hilarious.
no, I agree with Jack. I is getting to him because there's no way anybody that because Smith is not stupid. He's just like he said. He's drinking, and he's mad, and that's what happens. The demons get in and take over.
It's unfortunate. It really
Yeah,
is.
it's sad.
Well,
I'll pray for you, Smith.
Yep. I've dealt with that battle myself, but he seems to be proud of himself.
Yeah. And what's up, Jack? What's up with Moose? Why does Moose keep doing? Moose, what is wrong with you, dude? You keep coming in and out, doing your stupid shit, calling people off, not coming out. What is wrong with this Moose guy too? I don't get it with Moose.
What is
No,
what
go
is
ahead.
the
Explain
damage?
to me, Moose.
I'd actually love your explanation for yourself, Moose.
What are you talking about? I just got
Your
here.
behavior.
What behavior?
What he just said. You join up and you act like a distraction. And actually, when you first joined, you jumped on Smith's bandwagon that I was wrong. I asked you to answer for yourself, Moose. Are you going to run like a little bitch again? It appears that's what your choice is.
What?
So what are you doing? If you're not acting like a little bitch, Moose, what are you doing? What these
Hello,
are,
Moose.
he's out of his mind. Actually, he's trapped in his
sort of-
mind. He lacks the integrity and honesty to explain himself. It's the egoic mind. Our God is so incredible. The powers of the mind, and most importantly, the powers of ignorance, the blind spots that people carry, it could only be from God's design. God is so good. See, and God is the good. Do we see the good, or do we find hate? And I've got Smith back here again. He's shown himself to be
Unbelievable.
uncooperative. Tell you what, every man.
Oh man, Jack. Jack, I think he's really like drinking, like he said, he's intoxicated. So I don't know. So it's your call, but
You know what?
I don't know what the solution is.
I have a suggestion. You can go complain in Enslavia. That's my solution.
That's wonderful. That's a wonderful idea, Hank. Yeah, Smith, no offense, but I believe my responsibility is to, share a dignified conversation and maybe share some value. And you haven't been interested in that. So if you want a place where you can just go on and ramble, go over to the Proper Instruction Motivates People. Paul Unslaved, he welcomes anyone to come and say anything they want. It doesn't have to be true, and it doesn't have to be relevant. Praise God.
Praise
so
God
good.
indeed.
Good heavens.
And it's not against Paul, it's your code that I know of. So the recommended channel.
I'm going to take a chance again. What is this, Moose? Humble Moose.
What's going on?
What are you doing? Do you know what you are doing, Moose?
Yeah, we're trying to fight through confusion.
And the confusion was brought with you. So do you want to work on your confusion, or do you want to hold on to it some more?
Yeah, let's start through the steps. Let's step one.
All right. Let's start with you explaining your behavior from your perspective. What do you think you're doing in the context of what the others are doing here? No answer? I ask you to explain yourself. See, Moose, there's no way for you to overcome your confusion if you don't look at yourself honestly. And if you're not willing to honestly look at your behavior and see that it's not helpful.
I think it's unhealthy.
Okay. What would you say is unhealthy? Because I agree with you.
Trying to pretend to be a guru or a life coach, having no actual experience or merits or achievements in your life.
Who are you talking about, Moose? See, we were talking about you, and those words you say are true. Moose,
you're right. I'm supposed to take accountability, right?
Yes, and since
I think we could do this together. It's like a back and forth. We could both take accountability.
Yep. I take accountability for my respect, my self-respect, and I don't want the likes of you around me, Moose. You lack integrity, you lack purpose, you are a false witness and a liar. I don't want you around, Moose. You offer me confusion, which is what he allegedly was willing to face.
I agree, Jack. I think Moose, I swear to God, him saying right now that about the guru thing and life coach, we have and you have discussed this over and over with so many people that it should not need any clarity. So he's just doing it on purpose to fuck your flow, excuse my language, and
You're right.
what you do here on this channel.
Thank you for seeing that, Tark. That's exactly what I see. And the thing is, he lacks the integrity. He won't admit it. See, he wants me to be like him. He actually lacks purpose. He's got a family around him, so thinks he's probably better off than me. I've been dealing with this judgmental crap from people for a long time. I see right through it. And the thing is, it's sad to me because Moose has talents. He doesn't use them. He doesn't share. And, you know, this is the thing. Every day God allows us to awaken. When we interact with each other, those are opportunities for us to show our true character, or to show the character that we chose to imagine. And Moose and Paul and so many others, they imagine themselves so much better than me. It's hilarious.
What's even funnier is you could do what they tell you to do and you're still upset about it. So you can't win unless you're Pussy Paul himself.
Well, here's the other part too. Provo, I know for a fact I'm showing far far greater love and compassion for Moose than what he has offered to me. Okay. So I already know that my character is much more generous with patience, compassion, and love. So what Moose failed to bring up in his, he wants to disparage me as an unsuccessful life coach. What Moose fails to realize is that even though I offered my services for free, he never even tried. He complains and blames without even trying. That is a sign of a coward. And praise God, it seems to be the American way. They complain and blame.
Yes, a coward is like an understatement for Moose. And this is one thing also, Jack. Like, we talk about Provo, right? Him making that statement, and Provo is not stupid. He's pretty smart. He knows what's going on. For him to make that statement towards you makes him even more of a coward than Moose, because now
No,
he's also bearing false witness.
well, to be honest with Provo, I see him living up to the character he's playing. He's provoking, and he is. He
Yes,
plays
I agree.
the
Yes,
instigator pretty well.
I
And
definitely agree.
and honestly, I've had conversations with Provo, with Moose, and others, which tells me they're pretty damn good men. They really are. Moose, unfortunately, though, the disrespect he's continued to offer me without remorse, without even, he's proud. He's proud of how he's disrespected me. And it's like amazing.
Well, I have a proposal for those gentlemen. You could be small time disruptors and just throw a show, or you can be world class disruptors and disrupt a war. What is a
Amen.
better role than to screw up the military industrial complex's plans?
Well, that's what we could do. There's greater things for us to be doing. Welcome, Paul. Is that out in the woods? It looks beautiful.
I like it.
I do too. Hey, I don't believe this is true. Moose wrote off his daddy because he's selfish and foolish. He didn't do it for me. He wrote me off. How about this, Provo? Good question. Do people who profess the power of love run around calling people cowards? I believe they do when it's true. When the other efforts of encouragement and inspiration have failed, you've got to resort to different tactics. And Moose and others, they've been unwilling to receive kindness and patience and such. So I guess we got to treat them like the cowards they are. And actually, admittedly, the rudeness, the bluntness, that's exactly what life showed me. And that's how I learned. So I realize sometimes I do lack a little compassion for people when they're afraid and angry, but I lack the compassion because I know that once they get done with the tantrum, they'll feel better.
And Jack, like, I agree with like most of the things you said and like whatever, but even like comparing Moose to Paul, I think that's also disrespect to Paul, because Paul and Moose are nothing alike, and I know
That's
you
not
know that. And Hank,
they're
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but they're not nothing alike. They share many,
Well, I mean,
many similarities.
For example, the both white males.
Both
That's
think
so
it's
stupid.
fun.
Come on now.
They,
We're going to race and color.
they both think it's fun and funny to make fun of a man like me. That is an obvious similarity between Paul and Moose.
Okay.
So
I would
let's
agree to
not
some
say
degree, but I think Paul. Yeah, I would agree to some degree, but I think Paul has a way brighter point of view towards his humor.
no, it's still the same
Okay.
cognitive dissonance. It's still the same egoic arrogance. It's still the same patterns of want to prosecute me and judge me. And yet, not realizing we're in this all together. There's greater enemies that we could be facing, and that's who I'd rather face. I don't want to deal with clowns like Moose who don't really have much to really, they don't seem to have goals.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think
Well,
Moose has any goals. But you also, Jack, you're also allowing Hank, for example, like to put a sign every day and call Paul a pussy and all that. My opinion, I don't think that's genuine or
Tarek,
good.
Tarek.
Let's ask Paul what he thinks of it.
Well, sure.
Paul, what do you think of my sign?
It's stupid. That's what I think. I'm telling you right now.
I asked Paul. Paul, what do you think of my sign?
Okay, I'll set up.
How about this too?
He doesn't care.
I mean,
see, he doesn't care. Maybe
right.
it's funny. I don't know. He didn't have anything to say to me when I asked him.
And it's not just that, but what do you do when other attempts, just like I said with Moose, and I've tried having polite conversations over and over and over. What do you do when they don't seem to care to find resolve? Paul doesn't seem to care to find resolve. So why not write signs?
Okay, but I think yesterday, Jack, would you agree yesterday, even though it was kind of heated a little bit, I think we got somewhere and it was actually a really good conversation. So that's what I'm saying. You can't compare Paul at all to Moose.
Well, I can, because I see the same patterns. They're both white male. They're both online. They've got actually a lot of similarities together. And both of them, once again, have chosen that their role in my experience is to mock me and ridicule me. So there are a lot of similarities, Tarek.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think you are, but it's not hard to accept the truth when we're willing to see what is real. It's right there before us. And what is real and right here before us is today. We share today. We don't need to keep looping on these memories and the unhealthy, unhelpful competition. I almost misspoke. I pray for cooperation. I mean, Tarek, you saw, everyone saw it. Trying to get Moose and Smith just to simply cooperate with a conversation. And then we've got Paul, who isn't available or doesn't want to engage conversation with Hank when asked a question.
Well, I can only assume he just agrees with everything I say, because he's here and he's not contesting me. So that's just my best guess. If he disagrees, hopefully he speaks up somewhere. I'll watch his chat for any commentary.
Well, I trust.
Me and Jennifer are cracking up. Talcott just projected so hard that he's no longer online and he's no longer white based on his criticism. They're both online. They're both white. That's you.
I'm
No,
included.
that's the
Hello.
thing.
I'm included with you, except the mockery of me. I take me seriously, and for whatever reason, neither of you can seem to do so. Blows my fucking mind. I mean, we're the same, but we're different. Why are we so different when it comes to me? One of us has been wrong. And Tarek,
Yeah, we're in
when
the
we're
same camp
wrong,
with the post office, the union, your wife, your child.
Paul, we can move past the facts, and yes, those are included. Okay, I've said there is something going on with me. I don't have all the answers, but I'm inviting anyone to join me, and let's see what we can come up with. The narratives about me, they're not accurate, they're not helpful. And the thing is, if I'm right, there are
I have the answers. I've
opportunities.
joined you in your mental illness and emotional illness for 2 years.
You haven't
Obvious that's
joined
what's
me.
going on here. The bigger thing.
You've been keeping your mental illness, and you've been denying the acceptance of what I've been saying. What I'm saying is there's real life opportunities for us to unite, to join together, and to confront the true enemies of freedom. We see there are some, I swear, from my position where I sit in front of this mantle in Spokane, Washington, I truly believe all the dominoes are aligned. Everything is coming together. The stars, the sun, everything. We're here to change this world. All we've got to do is stop fighting with each other. And I know I joked about that yesterday when I said it, but it's that simple. God. I've got Moose and Snafu now.
Excellent. But yeah, this is why they gave me so many hours of work, because I'm a really good cleanup guy. I mean, I got Paul to open, break a show and actually talk on the show. That's awesome.
There are some amazing things happening. I do see it. You got to watch. You got to pay attention for the subtleties and the signs. But I do see some growth. I see a lot of good things happening around. It hasn't come into my direct life yet, but I have faith. And you know what? Praise God. I'm going to roll with the universe. Welcome.
Praise God.
Snafu. Welcome back, Moose.
All right. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing?
Hell yeah, Moose looks like the little Twitch dudes, or the little, what is it?
I don't know what's in your mind, Snafu.
What the fuck, Jack? You're my life coach. I'm your life coach. We're supposed to know what the fuck we're thinking together.
You haven't listened to me. I mean,
You
haven't
said
heard
anyone
me.
is available to come to you, and here I am to you.
Praise God.
Thanks, Professor Snaps.
Thank you.
Hank,
Actually,
hey, no,
yeah.
I want to ask Jack, why do you think it's appropriate to have Hank call Daddy a pussy?
I didn't say it was
Subliminally,
appropriate.
non-subliminally?
I
Like,
didn't.
because that's really, you say you're about love and not
Snafu.
talking shit upon each
Hello.
other, not clowning. And
Hello.
this guy has a sign basically saying Paul's a
Snafu.
pussy.
Hello.
And in reality,
Snafu.
Hank's a pussy. Like, you could totally
Hello.
you know.
Golly geez, you just jump on a conclusion and you fucking.
Dude, he's holding a sign up on your show.
I mean, he's right, Jack. I'm sorry. I don't mean it.
He's holding the sign up on your show. You just let it go by. And I'm just
So
saying, well,
what?
Jack boots me
Because
up.
he acts like one. Professor, he acts like one a bunch of times.
Well, why don't you just tell me?
I had to ask him to talk on Jack's show for 10 minutes.
Jack, I told you he was saying that Paul's a pussy. You don't pay attention to your show.
Well,
no, he knows what I'm doing.
I'm going to interrupt that nonsense.
All right. Well, I'm here for resolution. You said that we can do something greater, and I mean, if we're gonna work towards that, we might as well start now.
Oh my God, Moose, we have heard that 1,000 times from you, and you still do the same shit every time.
Tarek, we've heard you come over here and cry about Paul
Here,
every single day, and now you're praising him again.
tell,
So
Why about
tell you what,
Paul in terms of what? I respect
Tarek,
Paul. The high stuff. What are you
Tarek,
talking about?
Tarek, please,
Yes.
let's not, let's allow Moose to offer what he says. Let's
All right.
not convict
Go
based
ahead.
upon past patterns.
I mean, we're not gonna get
I,
anywhere if we keep fighting, right?
well, right. And that's where
No.
I was wondering, is there sincerity in these words?
Yeah, I mean,
Because,
there's no reason to fight. There's no
right.
reason to.
So why have you chosen so many insults and disagreements?
You know, probably because I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that you're not getting it done my way, and that's
And
that's an egoic way to look at things.
thank you. So what can we do? Since I'm
Well,
not,
I
since I'm
just
not
have to accept
living
you for
my
who you
life,
are. You
right?
know,
Since I'm not living my life the way you want me to,
no,
and
it's not. It's not living
you
your life the
chose,
way you want. It's. I'm not. I'm not saying that you're living your life wrong. You're just saying like there's certain things that I think in the world that you could be doing my way or
right,
something, and so I just
right,
got to let that go. It's your
right.
life. It's
So
your way.
where I was, yes. So where I was going, I know you don't want to accept that you did anything wrong, and I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I'm trying to get to a point from your words, Moose. Since you see that your words and behavior have been at me as a result of your opinions,
Yeah, well, I
your
mean, everybody has
your
opinions, though.
standards,
Like
right?
even when
But
you have like a
so your
football team, like
behavior has been unhealthy, Moose. What do we do from here? Do I just have to suck it up and accept? Well, I guess that's just Moose,
well, I mean, that's what Paul does. I mean, Paul.
right?
I
Paul
mean,
enables.
no,
Paul
he
enables
forgives.
chaos.
He actually
Moose.
forgives. He like when he
Moose.
forgives you for
Hello.
something, he forgives you.
No, he enables. He enables and allows it to continue. He's very good at moving on, but resolve is what we're looking for.
Yeah, I want resolve. Like we
Okay,
need
so
resolve.
what are
So,
you going to do to bring forth resolve?
well, I'm gonna bring
Why
my A
should I?
game. I'm looking good, right? I
No,
think I look.
not right now.
I think I look
Not to
good.
me. Not to me. You're carrying around the unresolved insults, the disingenuous comments, the insulting and disrespectful things you've said about me are still on you.
So
So
why don't
what are
we?
you?
So why don't we instead of like you not being a life coach, how about we make you a life coach and we get you some life coach customers, and then we get that rolling, and then what I said was wrong, you know? Because as far as I stand, like we don't
Right,
have any life coach
right.
customers right now,
Okay,
so
so Moose, what are you going to do to help that happen?
I'm gonna market. I'm gonna
When?
market 24. I'm gonna start tonight. We're gonna do the 24/7 Jack
See,
Talcott
I don't
channel.
believe, yeah, I
No, I'm
think
gonna do
you're
it. I'm gonna do it. I'm
right.
gonna play Jack Talcott
Yeah.
all day long,
Do you
24/7.
think it's you, and that's going to get
I
me the
think
life coach,
yes,
the
I think
coaching
that
clients?
people
Hey,
when they
Moose.
see the work that
Hey,
you've put
Moose.
in,
Mm-hmm.
right? You've put a lot of work in. You put 5 years in. Oh,
Yeah.
you don't think what you've done is worth seeing again?
No, Moose. I think you're just. I'm
See,
gonna
I'm not
replay
doing it
someone
your
else's.
way. I'm not
No,
doing it your
Moose.
way. So
Hey, Moose. My patience is done with you. You're such a disrespectful clown.
no. Give me a second. I'll quiet
Why?
down
Why should I give you a second?
because I'm trying to figure out what you're needing here. Like,
You
what do
don't
you
shut
need?
up and listen. All I asked you for in the past, Moose, was your cooperation. I offered my friendship, I offered my support, my trust, and you don't find any value. I can't help you. Actually, that applies to Paul too. See, there's another similarity, Tarek. Moose and Paul, I offered them both my friendship. Matter of fact, the knucklehead snafu too. All these people want to disparage me because they never tried. working with me. Things are going to change in my life and in our world very soon. Things are changing.
Excellent.
I know. It's going to be beautiful, Hank. It is going to be beautiful when the veils of hate, the veils of fear, the veils of confusion, when they come off the minds of these people. Like I said, I know Snafu, Paul, Moose, all of these people have been real challenging for me. I know they've got good hearts. The things Jesus said are true. Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. And when I can align myself with that spirit of Christ, life feels good. And honestly, this is the point of the stream today, finding a passion for life. Life is not about these juvenile, egoic conflicts. This is just nonsense. Passion for life. Life is growth. Growth brings movement. It brings change. And we're here to bring forth the movement and the change authentically. I recommend gently too. Our world has enough violence and oppression. And honestly, in my own path, I think the viewers who've been around a little while, I think you've seen me grow in my ability to be kind or patient, gentle. And I think the gentleness and the patience, that truly helps us communicate. And think about that from God. God is the wisdom that seeks us to know it, patiently waiting, offering forth the signs of the care for you. Every one of us has been blessed with life. I enjoy that blessing, and I truly have a passion for life, and that's why I'm here as often as I am, trying to share the awareness of the blessings, to share the blessings of life with each other. I swear that's why we're here. Jack expects way too much from his panel guests. That's possible. It is possible.
Yeah. No. Has that person been a panel guest before? Maybe he could come up and show us how to do it right. I could use some tips.
I'm not sure. Well, I think the criticism is on me. And the only expectation I have, what I really hope for, honestly, is conversations. Because through conversations, we can get to know what is real. But these arguments, they don't help.
I agree. I totally agree.
I mean, Talflix had a change of heart, so we must be something changed. I don't know because he never came on Paul's show and clarified why, but maybe he said, well, kind of like what Jack's message is. I don't know. That's a possibility.
I'm often wondering how am I being received? What are people thinking? What's in their minds about me? Because Talcott clip collection, he had to have spent some time with me, hearing my voice.
I mean, I have the answer to that if you want it.
Yes.
I think I've heard, but what are you?
So apparently, according to Cotflix, by watching you constantly and making clips of you, he realized he was a lot like you, and it scared the shit out of him. So he's going into extreme reflection about himself and his life.
That's good. It's healthy. Because if he comes to the conclusions I did, he'll join me. And my hope is to build a team, build a community. really build something substantial. It's challenging to do it. Well, we're not here to do everything alone. That's what I know.
That's what I'm saying. So why are we arguing? Let's get back on track.
That's the goal. Well, and getting on track, it actually is as simple as becoming present. Because when we can become present, bring our mind into our heart, realize, okay, it's here. The past is done. The future's not yet here. I can feel the peace. When we feel the peace, we can understand each other. But people have normalized patterns of chaos. Snafu.
Jack, did you not hear what Paul just told you? Like about Talcott clips? You ignored everything he just like told you.
How did I ignore it? You came to the conclusion I ignored. I heard what he said.
Okay, okay, I'm not trying to fight with you. I'm trying to say, did you? I know what happened because I was there too, and I talked to Talcott clips in the chat. Paul was 100% right. It scared the shit out of him, and you said that's good.
It is good.
Do you think it scared him because he wanted to be more like you and follow your ways?
Snafu, no, I don't. It's not me. It is good that he's scared because the ego is the fear. When he pushes beyond the fear and he realizes, oh shit, this guy I've been making fun of, yeah, he's a guy just like me. Yeah, then he'll escape his ego and he'll become even greater than he was. He'll be free. So I'm glad you're here.
Okay, Jack.
It's the truth. The ego carries the fear. We want to escape the fear. We've got to escape the control of the ego. And the only way to escape the control of the ego and the fear is to humble ourselves to what is true. And
yeah,
what
but
is
you weren't humble with Moose just now. If he offered to play Snafu Crew videos all the time, I'd be like, hell yeah, you were very not humble when Mr. Moose offered to play your content 24/7 on his channel. You kind of degraded
but he thinks, he doesn't feel that's a contribution, so that's just the way he feels. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, you can play Crew videos, you know that.
There you go.
I would have said thank you, dude. You kind of you don't think it was beneficial if other people play your content on just in the algorithm?
They could just come here. What difference does it make?
Right. Why don't you just send people here rather than taking what I've done and tell yourself you're doing something?
Are you going to be here 24 hours like he said?
The videos are served 24 hours, 24/7. The videos are served.
Basically, he was going to repeat your videos or whatever on a separate channel to help promote it, as you said, marketing, promotion.
Right.
It's no point because they just come here. In fact, the videos are being streamed on 2,000 already. It's being streamed on Paul's channel right now.
There is a point to it, but there's no point to the arguing.
Here, thank you, Moose. And no offense. I mean, I appreciate you had an idea that came up quickly and you were willing to commit, and I believe you would. You would share the stuff I've already done. But the question was in response to my hope.
Well,
getting
you send
me
them here with the link,
people who want to work with people wanting to work with me. Just doing the restreams where I'm not really I'm not selling myself in the restreams. I'm not really promoting myself as a coach an awful lot. So restreaming me doesn't achieve what we were talking about. Not in my mind.
How do you become part of what you want?
Pardon?
Here's what I've been doing. I've been making friends over the internet.
I hope they join me.
Hank, you have a problem for every solution, brother.
Ask Jack a question, dude.
I want to explain. I want to give you some context. I'll tell you what I've been doing to help Jack recently. So I've been making friends all over the internet.
Hank talk for you now, Jack? Is
Would
that what
you
the deal
let
is?
him? Would you let him answer, please? Go ahead, Hank.
Yes. So I've been making friends all over the internet, and if they have some crossover with Jack, I'll have them cross streams. I got Jack on the Pine Creek show, and I think, and also I made it I made a Lou and Tommy show a favorable environment for Jack to come and visit, because there's a time that Tommy didn't want Jack around.
To be
So
fair, Jack, I don't understand half of what he says because it's in retard talk. I just
Stop.
don't understand.
you should
I
be
wish you
fluent
could
in
tell
that,
me what he says.
Professor
Not
Snaps.
being
I'll
mean,
talk
I
slower
could
for
barely
you.
understand him
You should be
audible
fluent
wise.
in that, Professor Snaps.
You can't.
If you try to understand, you can. If you come to the conclusion you cannot, guess what? You won't understand. So,
I don't understand him, Jack.
Okay.
He sounds,
You should
but
be
I
fluent
can't
in
So-
that.
audibly. I really, truly am not lying to you. I
okay.
don't know. Like after the first 3 words, I'm
I know.
lost.
I'll
It's
talk slower
so-
for you, Professor Snaps.
Here.
I make friends on internet, introduce Jack to them. When
Yeah.
crossover, Jack visits, and Jack get on show. Do you copy?
You need to talk slower from now on.
Snafu, please.
No, I can understand him there.
Okay, great.
You also need to talk slower from now on.
Actually, yes, please. When we slow down, we can actually limit our anxiety just from the conscious, intentional slowing down. Now I realize that reminds me, I know I talk slow. So for those who tune in at a later time, 2-speed might be where I'm at. Hey, I see, regardless of what has and has not been done in the past, I do see some incredible opportunities to collaborate and to overcome the things of the past. Now, Snafu, you were asking something, and I don't know if we got away from where you were at or not.
Yeah, until we let Hank try and answer
All right.
the question I had directly to you.
So where
And
are
I
we at?
tried to figure out what I was going to ask you because you let Hank answer your question.
All right.
That had nothing to do with the question, by the way.
Okay. Well, I think he was offering some of the
Oh,
things.
no. I do remember the question now. Remember the question now. I said, what do I need to do when you say, I hope they join me, blah, 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 Snaps, Paul, Moose, don't work with me. What
And
do
you have
we
to
have
understand
what
that
do
Snaps has
we have to
brain
do?
damage. So you got to understand he's always going to fall a little short, Jack.
I'm just asking, what do we have to do to be on your level? Like, to work with you? What would that entail? If the crew were to say, "Yo, let's work with Talcott," what do we need to do?
You and I talked about this a few times.
Okay, in general.
Well, there's a lot of people involved in my past who have been, I allege, they are in denial. They're suffering from denial, and they're avoiding having conversations with me. Now, the people from my past, I'm not focused on the past. I believe if I could get someone here in Spokane, even friggin' Smith is in the back, if I could get someone here in Spokane to work with me, I've got a much better chance of getting anyone's attention. Now, part of that snafu, it doesn't have to be in physical life, but there's a lot of people involved that I'd like to know what the hell is going on with them. Why
So
have I been avoided?
Get you connected.
What's that?
So that's what you want me to do is get you connected.
Connected with either people who I know, or maybe you have connections that
Connected with that dick.
Maybe you have connections that might want to help these crazy ideas of trying to change the world.
I'd be afraid to see you over there at InfoWars or any of my connect. I'd be afraid if they.
Can I ask a question here, Jack?
Moose, that's real talk, bro. I'd be afraid of that shit.
On the other side, and I see Snafu's thing moving. That means he's still rattling on. Okay, it's done. I can't hear you guys, but my question would be, I'll hear it on the playback. Why is it always presumed that it's everyone else in your experience who's off and not you?
Why don't you, as I said, join me and let's investigate why it appears that way?
Well,
Let's
maybe
find
that's
out the
him joining you,
facts.
he's talking to you, like he's actually asking you that question. So it is him
Hey,
joining
Snaps,
you.
if you could quiet down, let's get into this investigation.
No, I will. I'm just letting Jack know it is kind of by him asking the question, it's him joining you. He's having dialect and conversation with you.
That's not accurate. His
Okay,
Holiness asked. His
I'll let
Holiness finally asking a question is not joining with me. I mean, my testimony, which should be valid, everyone's honest testimony has some merit, and my testimony has been ignored. Parts of it have been taken out and used against me because I'm honest about everything that I've experienced, but there's a lot of unknowns. I don't know why. Well, to be honest, from my ex-wife to my son to my friends to my neighbors to the people I used to work with, I don't know why they threw me away.
Have you tried listening to what everyone's told you their reason is?
They've avoided me for years. They've said,
and they never told you during the time or after and since? Because I know I've told you and you completely rejected everything I've said to you.
I know, but Paul, you have also not considered the fact that you might be wrong. Now, people had excuses. Everyone has had. There's been so many different excuses.
Yeah.
Is it possible you're doing everything you're saying others are doing, Jack, where you've not considered all the reasons that everyone's told you for why they can't get along with you and work with you?
Yes, Paul, I've considered that. Now, here again, I can't say this any other way. If it's not you, someone will eventually. Someone will join me and we'll go ask these people, like my ex-wife, maybe the psychiatrist who was involved, maybe my union reps. We'll go ask.
You can't see it all, like as you're saying that, how it's completely looks crazy and insane.
Paul, take it up with God.
So you're going to meet someone online and they're going to go around to your ex-wife, the union, the post office from 10 years ago, and ask them why they're not dealing with you while showing why by being insane.
Hey, Paul, right. Your narrative.
I thought we were trying to get some resolution and investigation.
I'm trying to give him, I know, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to give him some clarity.
You're showing his loop.
I'm trying to get him to seemingly understand why folks are receiving him and treating him the way he's not liking.
This is a loop. This is a loop.
Hank.
It is a loop. Give me the loop. Give me the loop.
Paul, please stop.
That's Talcott Smalls.
If you can't stop, I'm gonna.
It's kind of sad, you know.
Paul, hello, Paul. It is sad that you keep looping on these narratives. You're rejecting the opportunity to know because you keep trying to gaslight me into thinking like you. And Paul, I'm gonna. You know what? It's time for you to really think about what you're doing greater than just you. Try to think of the perspectives in the higher sense. So Paul, I'm gonna step away from you again, okay? Because I don't see.
Is it possible that's the same thing you did with a lot of other?
Yep. You can keep looping in your narrative. Is it possible? Is it possible? I've explained myself honestly multiple different ways. Just because you can't wrap your mind around the truth doesn't mean my life is not real. I mean, Paul, I've had to accept the reality of my life, and my life caused good people to misunderstand me. And if you can't accept the possibility of that, you're delusional. And I've got Snafu in the back trying to get attention like a little child. Snafu, go away. Smith, go sober up.
Well, we have a good idea. Paul has a show right now, so when he's done, when Jack's done, you can complain about Jack's show in Enslavia. So that sounds like a plan to me. Hopefully Paul allows it.
I'm sure he does. He loves to host people complaining. But I think I'm going to continue on from the day. I did have hope. I have hopes every day. Every day I have hope that someone will open their mind and try to understand differently. And that's my greatest disappointment, unfortunately, today is with Paul. Paul, yeah. I love you, but I don't.
Look at the bright side, Jack. You have me, you have Tarek, you have the Machine Lies, and you have Tommy sometimes who can understand you at least a little bit. So they're not in Spokane, but at least we exist.
It's ironic that we're actually united in exactly the way that we're perceiving ourselves and each other. And that's where we should be able to find the philosophy or the humor in this, because it's like every day we have hope that you're going to come on here, open your mind and heart, and take some constructive suggestions or criticism to try to better yourself in your life and your condition.
Paul,
and it never seems to happen. And I think it's a burden to a lot of folks who interact with you.
Hello, Paul. You're perfectly describing you.
I know, I just said that.
Well, why don't you listen? I mean, let's just please, you claim to care about the truth. So, Paul, how are you coming across if I was to be honest and truthful about you in my life, how do I describe you according to you? Helpful?
I'm not even sure what you're asking. All I said was that we both have the exact same perspective of ourselves and each other.
No, Paul, you have a flawed perspective of me and an inflated perspective of yourself.
I know, that's the same thing I would say about you.
No, Paul, this is the problem.
This is why this is so fascinating, because everything you're saying, I would say the same thing back to you.
Is anyone else willing to try and weigh in? Is Paul Paul and I, please, Hank?
Yes. That's all right. That's interesting. Well, Paul, what would you say about me? What am I doing?
So right away, Hank proving he can't be someone who can be gone to, which is why Jack just dropped his head, because he's just here for attention and made it all about him. He can't weigh in. He's not even paying attention to what's going on, and he can't read the rumor himself or anything else going on.
No, that's actually not what I'm doing.
That is what you're doing. You're just not aware.
Hank, it appears you wanted the attention, and that's the ego. And
you keep making it about you and I, holding up signs, flashing over there, giggling and laughing like a child.
No, Jack, let me explain. So I'm trying to get a clean readout on him to see if he can see anyone other than himself.
Why do you guys all perceive yourselves as able to be arbiters and discerners of truth? You regularly show in your life that you're wrong. This kid's jabbed up out of his mind. Why does he think he has a discernment to be able to tell false from true, true from false? It's just arrogance on display.
It's no different than you. Hello, it's no different than you, Paul. You've got this arrogance that you've got the.
I said that already. I said that we're all saying the same things about ourselves and each other. What's going to be the mitigating factor?
Your arrogance. Your arrogance.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Holy shit. You don't see it?
Holy shit. You don't see it?
Oh my God, dude.
Mr. Life.
I've had it. Your fucking arguments. You're playing the role of the adversary. You want to be the prosecutor. You place yourself as God above all others. Paul, you are delusional, dude. When you learn humility, great conversations can be had.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm sitting here trying to figure out where are we gonna go.
So now we get back on topic.
that was a nice cut. No, I see it. I see it. I think with you and Paul, you're both that same-minded thing repeating. But the reason it's so confusing for you guys is the rest of the community, we're not you guys, but we're still just gonna say that thing. Like we're watching you say the same thing back and forth, and then we'll just do that too. So one of us is always one of these people in the community is always lying, and one of them is always telling the truth. Have fun,
So
guys.
who would you guess? Who would you
Oh no,
guess?
you guys are like your thing where you're like someone will come along. I was trying to sorry, couldn't cover it, Jack. I guess you just can't get your problem solved. On to the next thing. You want to help us with the next thing? Because you're fucked. We've tried everybody and they don't know that you're like somebody though. Somebody will solve all my problems. So
No. All right.
let's go
Let's
solve someone
wrap up.
else's problems while we're got yours on that back burner.
Let's wrap up.
Day after day, Jack, problems. What about other problems? And then we'll
All
still
right.
get yours.
Tommy, we're gonna wrap
We'll
up.
get to it.
Okay.
Can
Thank
you bring my dog back to life?
No.
We might solve yours before resurrecting my dog. We might
Mhm.
solve yours first. But
I know.
before that,
I know.
let's help an old lady cross the street or something.
All right. Tom, I don't want to be rude, but I'm ready to wrap up. Thank you, brother.
Well, at least we have a passionate show. How would you reflect on it?
Progress. Every day is progress, and every day is a step towards the future. I know, and I don't want to minimize. There was some level of respect and some level of care that was shared. My patience has run out, though, with some of these characters and personalities. Holy cows, man.
Yeah, but I think we broke a couple of loops. So, well, we got Paul to talk this time. But unfortunately, he says the same thing he usually says when he talks. Snafu complained about something new. This is the first time Professor Snafu complaining about the sign. So we moved him forward. And the moves, I actually don't remember if he offered this restream your show. We kind of don't need that. We already have a restream partner. It's Enslavia.
True.
I guess you can do it too. But how many do we need?
Amen.
I guess more is better. Just start doing it. I think Jack's okay with it.
You know, I'm open to any support that's offered. I just prefer not to have the mockery and the disrespect and, people going around gossiping about me, trying to, convince others to avoid me? I don't get it. Hey, Hank, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Blessings to you, brother. And sincerely, brothers and sisters, all who joined today on the panel, in the stream, those who tune in at a later date and time, sincerely, I appreciate you. We are all that is. We are the present. We are the result of the past, and what we do today, brothers and sisters, the energies we carry today will point us where we go in the future. Where I want to point you to today is just a reminder. This is your life to live. It can become overwhelming. It can become confusing. It can become pretty dark in this world. But if you remind yourself, you have the option, you have the ability, you have the capacity every day to live with passion. Passion. What does that mean? Find it, discover it, grow the passion within you, and it's found through your desires, your true heart wants, your true heart desires. And the desires of the heart, they're greater than you. The desires of the heart are to bring forth you for the world in service of others. That's the way of the Christ. That's the way of God. We are here to serve the world, the love and the wisdom that we're allowed to discover. Life, brothers and sisters, it can pass us by. These relationships, family, otherwise, these relationships, they can come and go. Relationships will make us and break us. The number one relationship I found for me, and I encourage you, build your relationship with the truth that you can know. Not just the truth you already know, but the truth that you can discover, because the truth you can discover will release your potential. And if you're always in search for the truth you can discover, curious and attentive, paying attention to the present, realizing in the present where you are is God's presence, aligning your mind with the mind of God, aligning your heart with the heart of God, so that you unite your mind, your heart, the desires and wills of God. You can allow those to roll with you, to flow through you and as you. I hope that makes sense. It's really what I am practicing doing, being present in the moment, being kind, patient, loving. Why? Because love feels good. And our world, the world around does better when we share the love we know. And I hope you can receive some of the love I share today. Brothers and sisters, please do the algorithm thing, share this opportunity, these conversations with others, and tune in again in the future. Enjoy the Friday night energies. And till next time, peace for everyone. Choose love and live without fear. God bless us all. Thank you.